Hello everyone, there is no need to worry, because I am here, fresh off my weekly existential crisis. Hey everybody, I'm Brooke Waldorf and welcome to my channel, and welcome to my My Hero Academia themed tarot reading. If you're not familiar with My Hero or Boku no Hero Academia, it is an ongoing anime and manga series that centers around Izuku Midoriya and his journey to becoming the world's greatest hero. It's currently my favorite show, so please allow me to quickly break down why I'm completely and utterly obsessed with it and why I think you might like it too. It honestly all boils down to one thing. The writing is beyond brilliant. Horikoshi is an absolute genius as far as I'm concerned, because it's very clear that he understands people, what makes them tick, and most importantly, how to write characters you feel emotionally invested in. So many characters in the show, villains, heroes, even minor characters, have backstories that really enrich the overall universe that the story takes place and makes you feel connected to it all. I can guarantee you'll have at least one character you identify with on a deep emotional level. For me, it's Shinso. I sobbed, like legitimately ugly cried during his arc at the sports festival because I can see myself and my journey through him and his journey. There's just so much depth to this show, including seemingly little but very impactful things like repeating imagery. Repeating imagery is often seen in great writing because it ties together seemingly unrelated moments with a powerful emotional chord. For example, the repeating imagery of the cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms represent the fleetingness of life, how quickly it all goes by, and the fact that the only constant in life is change. It's a very uplifting yet melancholy feeling, which is incredibly simple yet powerful. Every time we see the cherry blossoms, it's in a very emotionally charged, life-altering scene for that character, and I personally felt it in my soul watching those particular scenes. Anyway, it's on Hulu and I highly recommend checking it out even if you're not into anime. I could seriously talk about how much I love it for hours, but I'll spare you and we'll get into the reading. The question for today's Pick a Card Tarot reading is, what is your quirk? In My Hero Academia, quirks are their superhuman abilities, their superpowers if you will, which can be anything from electrification to drinking someone's blood and transforming into them for a finite period of time. So just think of this question as what makes you special. Hopefully it's not that you drink people's blood. Please don't drink people's blood. Alright, I'm going to put the groups up on the screen so you can choose whichever you're feeling particularly drawn to, and as always, timestamps will be in the description below so you can fast forward whenever you're ready. But before you do that, here's a word from our sponsors. This video was made possible by contributions to Brooke Waldorf Tarot from viewers like you. Okay, so I wanted to give a big shout out thank you to 3 lovely ladies who purchased listings on my Etsy shop, which by the way is linked in the description below. That is where I do my private readings if you're interested in getting a reading from me. But anyway, they purchased listings from my Etsy shop, which were for these Funko Pops. So they paid the price of the Funko Pop and received a private reading and a shout out in this video from me as a big thank you for their generosity and for supporting my channel. Group 1, Battle Deku, was made possible by Tekko, and she actually is the one that inspired me to make those listings, so a big thank you to her. Group 2, Bakugo, Kachan, whatever you want to call him, was made possible by Kathryn. I bought Todoroki myself. And Group 4, regular old Deku in his hero costume, was made possible by Kathy. So a major thank you to all 3 of them. They were incredibly sweet, very nice to talk to, and total pleasures to read for. It was a really sweet way for them to support my channel, and I genuinely appreciate it. So thank you. And as always, this is a general reading. If it does not resonate with you, it simply wasn't meant for you. There's no need to leave a sassy comment. And with all that being said, let's get into the reading, and we're going to start with Group 1, Battle Deku. All right, Group 1, let's see what we've got for you. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the King of Cups. I'm going to go in order because honestly, I feel like there's a lot of really varied information here. So let's check it out. First card, King of Cups. This is someone who's very mature, and so is the Emperor. So I definitely think you guys, I feel like you are wise beyond your years. You're an old soul. I feel like you're probably not very old in physical years. However, I feel like you've always been more mature. You've probably felt out of place a lot, especially like growing up and in school. I feel like a lot of you guys have just always been wise beyond your years. You've always just been more mature than everyone else. I feel like you're very chill for the most part. You know, now the Emperor does represent the sign of Aries, so I mean, he can be fiery, but it could just mean that you're really passionate, which I'm going to get into in a second. So I do think you're passionate, but again, I think it comes from a place of maturity. I don't think it comes from a place of, you know, crazy, reckless, or, you know, I think you're very calm most of the time. King of Cups is very in tune with his emotions, very in touch with his emotions. So I feel like you're very emotionally mature, definitely. And I think you're somebody that people come to a lot for advice. So, you know, that's kind of that vibe of being an old soul, of being wise beyond your years. People are generally drawn to you for advice. So yeah, I think with the Seven of Swords, because you're also probably very intuitive, very mature and very intuitive, because with the Seven of Swords, this is the card of deception, lying, cheating, etc., etc. And I think you are like a human BS detector. I feel like you don't buy into anyone's like snake oil salesman. Like a snake oil salesman is not going to get one over on you. You're just going to be like, okay, bye. Like, I'm not buying what you're selling. I can tell you're full of BS and I want none of this. So get out of here. So I feel like people also come to you for advice a lot about other people. Like, hey, I had this business opportunity come up. What do you think? Or, you know, hey, should I give this girl or guy a chance on a date? Like, I feel like that kind of advice. I feel like people are really attracted to you for that kind of advice. And I also think people see you as, like I said, a go-getter, because we've got the Two of Wands and the Three of Pentacles along with that Emperor energy. So the Two of Wands shows that you're good at working with other people. When I first saw these two cards, before I really looked over here, I thought maybe, you know, this is someone who's really independent. Definitely. I think you're very independent. And I kind of thought like, maybe only child, which no shade, I'm an only child. So, but I kind of like got that vibe a little bit, but then I saw this, and this is, you know, being excellent at teamwork. This is the teamwork card. So it could be that you are an only child, but you're still good at working with others. Cause, you know, we have that stigma that people think we're not good, you know, at sharing or working with others, which is really just not true. Like, I've known people with siblings that were worse, you know what I mean? So no matter what, I feel like you might be an only child, but if not, you're just very independent, have always been very independent, very wise, but you do work really well with other people, especially one-on-one. I think you might lean a little bit towards the introverted side, where you prefer to just be with one or two close friends versus a giant group of people. I feel like you kind of get overwhelmed, and that could stem from your intuitiveness, because if you're really intuitive, really empathetic, which you probably are, you know, you can easily get overwhelmed being around groups of large amounts of people. So, and then your final card before we get to your oracle cards is the Three of Pentacles. So this is a very creative energy, and this is somebody who is doing what they love and making money doing what they love. It's also a card of artists. So you could be an actor, writer, dancer, musician, etc., painter, you know, anything to do with the arts. Poetry just popped into my mind. You could just be very poetic, even if you're not trying to like pursue something like that as a living. You are just, the way you speak is very poetic and very beautiful. There's something very calming about your energy. You're the kind of person where if someone is in a crisis mode, they're coming to you not only for advice, but also for your kind of calming, you know, aura about you. You just have that kind of calm personality. Okay, so let's get on to your oracle cards. What do we have? All right, first of all, we have worthiness. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. Now, I think you do. I think that's what the message of this is. I think you know that you're worthy. I mean, like I said, these are two very mature energies, and this is somebody going after what they love, and somebody, I also think that you're someone who really helps other people find their worthiness. I feel like you're the person that really lifts people up. You're not the kind of person that is like, there's not enough room in this company for the two of us. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really a competitive person. You want to lift everyone else up. You know, you're happy, you're following your dreams. Maybe you're even at this point starting to achieve your dreams. And either you're in a position right now, or you think that when you are in a position to help people, that you're definitely going to do it. And you mean it from the bottom of your heart, because you like to help people find their worthiness. You like to help people, you know, get lifted up to follow their potential and to follow their dreams. So I feel like you're just a really solid, all-around good person. A lot of you might be water signs. I'm getting a lot of Cancer vibes for sure. This is reminding me of one of my best friends. So if you're watching this and you picked this group, you know. But anyway, let's move on. We have Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. So again, I kind of feel like you're a lucky charm for people. I feel like people really view you as that uplifting person who just kind of magically helps everybody else raise up to their potential. So wonderful. Okay, then we have Adversity. See the gifts in challenge. One can be taught within the calm, but the greatest lessons are learned from the storm. So we had that 7 of Swords energy, and I feel like you have been through adversity, and that could be why you're so mature at such a young age and you have such an old soul, is you have been through adversity and you've come out the other end better off. Now, there is, this is paraphrasing, I'm not exactly quoting this, but there's a line in My Hero Academia where one of the characters, I think it's All Might, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, where he says that heroes and villains are two sides of the same coin, and the only real difference is their choices. So, you know, both heroes and villains go through tough stuff in life, but the people that choose to rise above it, to learn from it, to grow from it, those are the heroes. The people that stay in the fear and the anger and the hurt, those are the villains. So you've risen above your adversity. So beautiful. Okay. Then we have Aphrodite, Inner Goddess. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. So again, I think you do, and I think you awaken that in other people. Oops, sorry, All Might. I think you awaken that in other people, and I think you are a very self-confident person as well. Okay, then we have 2 more cards. Full Moon in Pisces, there's that water energy. Balance spirituality and practicality. Now, I definitely think this is something that you do, because with that King of Cups, like I said, he's that water energy, he's that spirituality, he's that emotional side, and then you've got the Emperor, which is Aries, fire energy. That's like the go-getter, going after this. I'm going to achieve my dreams. I'm going to do what I got to do. So I feel like you're really good, which is great for manifesting, because that's the thing about like using the law of attraction and trying to manifest things, is you have to find that balance between taking physical, practical steps and truly believing and working with the universe spiritually to co-create the existence that you want. And I think you're very good at that, very skilled at that. Final card. Full Moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. Which, again, I think your dreams do have a practical plan. With that 3 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands, I really do think that you are working towards your dream, and people see that and people are drawn to you because of that. And you just have such a genuine, helpful energy about you that people are drawn to you, because even just being in your presence, I feel like lifts a lot of people up and makes them able to practically go after their dreams as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. All right, group 2, Bakugo. What makes you guys special? All right, you guys. So I feel like this is probably kind of a more recent thing for you. Or it could be that you go through these phases a lot. But we'll see with your oracle cards, see what other information I get. But what I think people see that is special within you right now is I feel like you have a lot of new beginnings coming in for you. A lot of things really starting, really happening. And I think it's because you've walked away from something that no longer served you. So let's start with that energy first. You've got the Six of Swords, which is an energy of walking away. And if you see his face, he's looking down. So he really doesn't know exactly where he's headed. He just knows that it's going to be better than where he's been. So this is definitely a card of leaving behind a situation, a relationship, a mindset that is no longer serving you, and it's time to move on, even though you kind of don't know where you're headed. So I think people see you as really brave, because I think it's kind of like taking a really big risk, because it's more listening to your intuition versus listening to logic. So I think you're very intuitive people. I think you're very spiritual people, because you do have the Magician, which the Magician is all about being a powerful manifester, co-creating with the universe. This is a very spiritual energy, and it's a one. You have two ones. You have the Magician, and then you have the Ace of Wands. So these both represent new beginnings. So I definitely feel like people see you as brave, because I think you left behind a situation that was probably a very tough situation, and also at the same time a very tough situation to leave. And people probably on the outside saw you leaving, like, and going in the direction that you went, like, is this person crazy? Like, there's no way this is going to work out. Like, because again, it was more on an intuitive level for you. It wasn't a logical thing. So people thinking logically are like, there's no way, she's going to fail. Like, this is not going to work out for him, you know? So you're very brave, and you're very in touch with your intuition. And I think you're very spiritual. So those things all make you very special. Now, what's very interesting is right next to the Magician, you have the Ace of Wands and the Six of Wands, which are two of my favorite cards, I will say. The Ace of Wands represents a new, passionate, exciting, fantastic new beginning. And this, in this particular deck, is known as the Spark of Summer. Now, if you've seen any of my other readings, I've been talking a lot about how I really feel like there is this collective energy where if you take advantage of this Scorpio full moon energy that's going on right now in the month of May, and you release things that no longer serve you, I feel like a lot of people are going to be headed into this Ace of Wands energy in the summertime. So in the months of June, July, August, even into September, I feel like a lot of amazing blessings are going to be coming in, a lot of miracles, a lot of things that you've really been working towards for a long time. And I think you're headed in that direction, because your next card is the Six of Wands, which is the victory card. So this is saying you've walked away, you've done the work, you've done the healing, you're manifesting, and boom, victory. So I think people see you as a force to be reckoned with. I think they see you as someone who is very spiritual, very ambitious, very much a go-getter, and very intuitive and brave. And they might think you're freaking crazy, to be honest, but hey, that's not really a bad thing. Usually when people think you're crazy, you know, as far as like chasing your dreams, you're kind of on the right path, you know. I mean, not, you know what I mean. Anyway, your final tarot card before we get to the oracle cards is the Four of Wands, which is the happy home card. It's also a marriage card, but more than anything, I view it as the card of living it up, loving life, just finding the excitement, the beauty, the happiness in every single moment, even if it's something as normal as going to brunch with your friends, you know? So this is the energy that people see you in. They see you as this happy, excited, you know, wonderful person. So yeah, I think people see you as brave, as spiritual, as a go-getter, ambitious, and just generally a happy person. Which is hilarious, seeing as how it's under Bakugo. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what other cards you have. Lakshmi, bright future, stop worrying, everything is going to be fine. So I don't think you are worrying. Like I said, I think it's other people who are worrying for you. It might be your parents, might be your significant other, your friends, whoever. I feel like people are kind of like worrying for you, thinking like there's no way they're going to accomplish this. But you got a bright future and you know it. So keep listening to your intuition. All right, then we have ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desire, which is exactly what I think you're doing. And if you're not, this is a piece of advice for you. But I think you guys are. Like I said, I think you've left something behind. Maybe it was a job that was no longer serving you, and that's why it's such a huge risk, because it's like, well, how are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to get this done? I feel like you know exactly what you're doing, even if it's not totally based in logic. And other people are like really nervous in your life, the people that are really close to you. But you're like, nope, ready, set, go. Like, I'm taking off. Ace of Wands, Magician, let's go. Okay. And then you have awareness, pay attention to the subtleties, look with new eyes. There are signs and omens everywhere. So I think you are very aware. Like I said with this magician card, I think you are very spiritual. I think you are very intuitive. You are very in touch with the other side of things. I think you see the signs. I think you understand your intuition on a very deep level. And that's why you were able to take this huge risk. So yeah, people see you as a risk taker and they are worried for you, but I feel like you've got this and you don't even care. Like, you understand you. Nobody else has to. Okay. Then we have new moon, a new start is coming, which absolutely. I mean, you have the Magician and the Ace of Wands, so you are definitely headed in the right direction. And I think some people see that and some people don't. Like I said, I think there's definitely some people really close to you who are really worried, really nervous, think that you're maybe a little bit impulsive, which that goes well with Bakugo. That part does. But I feel like there's a lot of people in your life that think that, but I think there's a select few, maybe a significant other or a best friend, that they see this potential in you. They see what you're doing. They see how the gears are moving in your head, and they see that this new start is coming. Because then you also have new moon in Taurus, prosperity lies ahead, which also we just had the new moon in Taurus like a week ago. So that's interesting. But anyway, prosperity lies ahead. You are definitely headed in the right direction, even if some people don't see it. All right, final card. Ant Spirit, time to collaborate. So I think you are good at working with others. The number is 1. I do feel like you're generally more independent. You've got 3 ones. By the way, 111. So go look that up. See if there's any special messages for you in the angel number 111. But anyway, I think you typically like to be independent and like to do things on your own. But at the same time, you're not afraid to ask for help when you really need it. I just think it takes you a while to get to that point. I think you've got a little bit of that stubborn Taurian kind of energy. Also, Scorpios were stubborn as hell too. So you might be a Taurus, you might be a Scorpio, or you might have a lot of those in your chart. But anyway, that's going to do it for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. All right, group 3, Todoroki, what makes you guys special? All right, y'all are deep. I feel like you guys are really deep. You're really deep thinkers. I feel like you live in your subconscious. I think you like to contemplate the meaning of life a lot. I'm getting a lot of this is so weird because I've been saying oh, I'm getting this sign or this sign. I don't normally do that, especially in general readings, but I've been doing that for the last 2 groups. I'm going to do it for you guys too. I'm getting a lot of Aquarius energy, Gemini, honestly, really air signs and water signs. So Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. That's what I'm getting the most for you guys. But yeah, I think you guys are really free-spirited. I think you're deep thinkers. Let's dive into this. So first of all, let's start with the 7 of Cups. So this is a card of imagination. I think you guys, like I said, I think you love to live in the subconscious. I don't think you're afraid of it. I don't think you're afraid of thinking outside the box, again, which is why I'm thinking Aquarius, Gemini kind of vibes. I think you're free spirits. I think you march to the beat of your own drum. You might dress eccentrically or just very differently from the other people where you live or your culture or your neighborhood. So I think you're just very different. I also think for the most part you like bright colors, but not for everybody. This is a general reading. But yeah, and I think you just have a really rich imagination. You might be a writer or an actor or a musician. You might be that kind of a creative type because I really see, like I said, a really strong imagination and an ability to really think outside the box. Also, you have the 5 of Wands, which is a competitive energy. So I think you're probably trying to break into a competitive industry, which, entertainment, YouTube, things like that. It's very competitive. So, yeah, I feel like most of you guys are an artist of some type or want to be an artist of some type, whether it's as a hobby or as full-time. And I don't think you're afraid of competition because I think you're very self-confident in your abilities. Because again, I just really get free spirit vibe. I feel like you guys are really free-spirited. And then you have the Eight of Wands, which is communication coming in. It's a really fast-paced kind of an energy. So I feel like this is an energy of, again, like you don't care about the competition. You don't think about that kind of stuff. It doesn't really faze you. You want to do it, so you do it. I feel like you might be a little bit on the impulsive side, but I think you just are really passionate and you really like to do what you like to do, and you're going to do what you want to do and you're going to go after it. You're not going to let other people's opinions hold you back. You're not going to let the fact that it's a very competitive, industry or whatever, you're not going to let that hold you back. And you're also not afraid from walking away from things when you're over it. Eight of Cups. This can be a very melancholy energy of, a lot of times it's walking away from something that we don't necessarily want to walk away from, even though we know it's time to walk away from it. So I feel like you're kind of fine with that. I feel like you kind of thrive in this energy, which is why I was getting a lot of like Scorpio and, the other water signs too, is I feel like you're okay. You've got so many ideas in your head. You got so many avenues. I feel like you're someone who just is not afraid of failure. I think you definitely view failure as an opportunity to learn and grow and tweak things and try something different. I don't think you're a 9-to-5 type person. I don't think you're a type A type person. I think you're very much like spontaneous, outgoing. You're just authentically you, and I don't feel like you've ever really had a problem being authentically you, and you just kind of live and speak your truth all the time. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. And this is a card of generosity. So I think you're also a very generous person, especially financially. You might be helping out a friend or a family member financially, or in the future, that might be something that you do. But also, you're just very generous. You're generous with your time. You're generous helping people if someone needs help with something. You might be handy. Also with that Five of Wands, you might be someone who likes to help out. Let me help you with your gardening, or let me help you, install your ceiling fan. But I definitely think you're just really generous. You're a really generous person, and you're a very free-spirited person. And again, for those of you who are My Hero Academia fans, I think it's hilarious because I feel like Bakugo's was kind of the opposite of his character, and I think Todoroki's is too. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to your oracle cards. Okay. All right. First card is Dragonfly Spirit, Truth Transcends Illusion. So again, I think you're really deep thinkers. I think you are very deep. You like to contemplate the meaning of life. You like to contemplate people, their intentions. Why did this person... You might be interested in psychology. You could be working towards that, or you could just be very interested in it. You might just watch a lot of YouTube videos or read articles online. But I think you're very interested in like figuring out like why people do certain things, like what makes them tick. And again, that also goes back to being like a creative type, because you might then use that in your writing or in your acting or in your music. So I definitely think you're a very deep, deep thinker. Okay. And this next card is kind of reiterating that. Contemplation time, spend time alone meditating upon what you truly desire. So again, I think you do spend a lot of time contemplating, like I said, the meaning of life. Why do people do certain things, et cetera, et cetera. I think you just really like to learn, I think, in general, but especially about, really deep topics. Okay. Then we have Undying Love. The love you have shared is eternal regardless of the situation. So again, with that Eight of Cups energy, as I was saying, I feel like you have that energy about you where you see the beauty in endings. You don't mind that melancholy feeling. Like some people hate that feeling. Some people would rather just be outright like sad and depressed than feel melancholy. And I don't feel like you're like that at all. I think you see the beauty in situations ending, relationships ending. You see the beauty in, they meant so much. They helped me on my path, and there's such beauty in letting that go because it's time to let it go. You are not the type of person that clings. You know intuitively when a situation is done and over with, and you move on. And you still feel that love. I feel like you are the type of person that you hold on to. Let's say you're 35 years old, and when you were 14, you had your first relationship, and you haven't spoken to that person since you were 14. But yet you still hold a special place for them in your heart, and every so often they still pop into your mind, and you go, Jonathan, even though it's not like a romantic thing. You're not like, oh, I wish I had him back. You know, it's just like you just feel the love. You feel that undying love for that person who was in your life for such a fleeting moment, but they were so important for those 3 months. You know what I mean? I feel like you've got that kind of energy about you. Okay. So, we have, all right, full moon, oh, sorry, not full moon, new moon, sorry, new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate, which is like literally what this card says. So I think you guys, like I said, you're a little on the spiritual side. You like to think deep. You maybe like to meditate. You like to contemplate, that's for sure. Again, with that watery energy. And then your next one is also water, full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. Again, going back to that Eight of Cups, to me, the Eight of Cups is a very Scorpio energy. And the Undying Love card. This is all a very Scorpio-centric little section here. And the full moon in Scorpio is happening, I think, about a week from when I'm posting this, or maybe less than a week. But anyway, yeah, I definitely feel like you have no problem letting go of negativity. I don't feel like you hold on to stuff. You're not a grudge holder, which Scorpios usually are grudge holders, but I don't feel like you're a grudge holder. I feel like you let things go really easily. You move on from things really easily. You walk away from situations that don't serve you very easily. Okay, final card. We have reconciliation. Remember the source of love. A loving action is all you need to begin the process. Reach out with a simple first step. So like I was saying, I really do feel like you guys are not grudge holders. You move on from things really quickly. You let go of things really quickly. And because of that, more often than not, you're probably the person who, if you were in a fight with a friend, you know, even if the friend was definitely more in the wrong than you were, you're usually still the first one to reach out. You're usually the one to try and reconcile, to apologize first, even if the other person was way more in the wrong than you were. So yeah, really, really beautiful personality you guys have got. So anyway, that's going to do it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if you did, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. All right, group 4, Deku. What makes y'all special? I feel like there's a lot to unpack here. Let's go ahead and start with the Ten of Swords and that Queen of Wands right next to it. So the Ten of Swords is an ending to a tough cycle. All tens represent the ends of cycles, and the Ten of Swords in particular is a tough emotional cycle. So I feel like you guys have really been through it. It could possibly be with the devil energy, which I'll get into in a second, that maybe you kind of had to learn the same lesson a lot of times before you finally were like, enough is enough. I've learned this lesson. I'm ready to move on. But I feel like you've been through it emotionally, but you've come out the other end. Because then we have the Queen of Wands, which she's my favorite court card. She's like my self-love court card. She is just optimistic, bubbly, outgoing, friendly. She's a go-getter. She's very ambitious. She's great at networking. She's very creative. So this is like you at your best, you know. A lot of you guys might be fire signs. Got the Knight of Wands as well. Also have the Knight of Cups, so maybe water. But yeah, this is like you at your best. So I feel like people see you as someone who has been through it, and you've come out the other end a better person for it. And people are inspired by you. I feel like you inspire a lot of people. You may write like a blog or do YouTube or something like that. I feel like you're someone who's very open. You like to share your story. You like to talk about what you've been through so that you can inspire other people or help other people. So I see you as someone who is very compassionate, because you've been through it. So the Knight of Cups, I kind of have two meanings for this, which I'll get into in a second, but let's go with the first one, going along with these three cards here, is this is a very loving energy. It can be a very romantic energy. It's known as an offer of love, but it could also be platonic love in the sense of, like I said, you've really been through it, and because of that, you're just such a lovely, empathetic, loving, kind, compassionate person. Now, what's the other meaning that I was thinking you say? Well, I kind of feel like these three cards go together, and then also these three cards go together. So we've already talked about this. So let's talk about the spicy side. So like I said, he is known as an offer of love. He's a very romantic energy. I call him my Knight in Shining Armor, my Prince Charming card. And then we have the Devil and the Knight of Wands. So the Devil can represent, like I was saying, along with this energy, it can represent being stuck in a toxic situation, toxic relationship, toxic mindset. It can represent addictions, things like that, of that nature. So I feel like you could have been in any one of those situations and you pulled yourself out. You could be an ex-addict, I feel like. That's definitely a message I'm getting. And like I said, people are inspired by that. People are inspired by you that way. Also, with this energy over here, you could be a very passionate person in the bedroom. I don't know how to say that coyly, because you have this romantic energy. You have this, like, the devil energy, as you can tell from the picture, is can be a very sexual energy. And then you have the Knight of Wands, which is a fast-paced, passionate, exciting energy. I also call him my out of the blue card, because it's a lot of times some kind of news or something that's coming in completely out of the blue that you're not expecting, and it's like really exciting and fast-paced and like amazing. So you might be someone who falls in love very easily. You might be someone who falls in lust very easily. So there's a lot of that kind of vibe going on here, but yeah, overall, I think, though, people see you as someone who has struggled and who has come out the other side, and as someone who's really inspiring and just a really fun, happy person to be around. Okay, so we have, so I think a lot of you guys might be Leos, and you'll see why in just a second. First of all, we have Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. Then we have Confidence, be bold, rise up and stand tall, feel the fire in your soul. And then I'm going to pull these three out to start. New Moon in Leo, confidence is your key to success. So, like I said, a lot of you guys might be Leos. There's a lot of Leo energy, a lot of fire energy in this reading. And I think you guys are very confident people. You have double confidence right here. You have this confidence card, this confidence card. So I think you are very confident. Potentially very confident in your abilities, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink. And you're also very generous. Why is this reading so sexual? Like, seriously, I've never done a reading like this before. You can watch all of my videos. You will hear me mention sexual stuff maybe one other time. But I think you're very generous in that way. You're also just very generous with your time. Again, like I said, if you have been through something difficult, I really do feel that you like to offer advice. You like to tell your story. You like to help other people who are in similar situations. So I also think you're very generous in that regard. Okay, then we have Waning Moon. What do you need to release? So again, I feel like you have released something. I feel like that's something that people really notice in you, of you were in this really tough situation, no matter what it was, some sort of toxic situation. Like I said, it could be as simple as just a mindset. It could be as simple as just not being confident, but you found it. I think that's a message for a lot of you guys, is you just didn't used to be confident. You were procrastinators. You didn't go after what you wanted to do, but you released that energy. You took that 10 of swords. You were like, yes, I've been through this too many times. I'm done. I'm over this. And you rose above it, and you found your self-love. You found your confidence. You released all of that negativity that you had in your mind, and you moved on from that negative situation. Because then we have leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. So because you found your confidence, you found your voice, you found your self-love, you have been able to take leaps of faith. Again, that Knight of Wands energy, that is a very passionate, fast-paced, exciting, along with that Queen of Wands, go-getter, ambitious energy. So I feel like a lot of you guys went through some really hard times. You really worked through it. You really came out the other side like night and day. I think people see you as like almost like the impossible. Like, how could she have been this down in the dumps? How could she have been, so unmotivated, not confident, and now she's like the most ambitious, confident, amazing person I've ever seen in my life? Like, I feel like people are just astounded by you. I think people just see you as almost magical, almost like they would make like a Lifetime movie about you. You know what I mean? Like that kind of an energy. And your final card is my favorite card from this deck. I love it. Make a wish. This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. So if you would like to do so, pause this video and make a wish. And also, I just think the message of this card is that you had a wish. And I feel like I'm like really drawn to this candle right now, this like single flame here. I feel like you had that little spark inside of you. It was like a little baby spark. And I feel like maybe a lot of you guys were bullied in school and you were kept down and you had that little spark, that little flame, but it was like kept at bay because people were mean to you. You didn't believe in yourself. You were bullied, you were belittled. But then you started to take your power back because you just decided enough is enough. Like, I can't live my life like this. Like, I want to be happy. I don't want to live like this. I want to follow my dreams. And I feel like you had that dream. That was that flame inside of you was your dream. And I feel like it grew and grew and grew. You know, you had that wish. You had that dream inside of you and you chose it. And now you've chosen yourself. You've chosen to be confident, to take leaps of faith, to be ambitious, to be a go-getter, to be confident. And I think you're headed for greatness. And I think people really see that in you. And they really see you as an inspiration because they really see how far you've come and how far you still have yet to go and that they know you're going to make it there. So I think people see you as very ambitious, very confident, and like you have really risen above a lot of crappy situations that you were put in probably from a young age. All right, well, that's going to do it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this My Hero Academia themed reading. I hope I did it justice because I've been literally planning this for like a month. So anyways, I had so much fun filming this. Again, big shout out, big thank you again to Tekko, Kathy, and Kathryn. Y'all are amazing. Big thank you to everybody, to all of my viewers, subscribers, the people who leave nice comments, the people who have purchased private readings from me. All of you guys are amazing and seriously make my heart so happy. I can't express my gratitude and my appreciation enough. I really, really do. Like from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you guys. So anyway, I hope you did enjoy this reading. And if you did, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you get notified when I upload. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. And remember, always live your life plus ultra. Bye.